If you're a salesperson, then you probably should get these. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I have in my hand here from the Closing Academy this little deck of cards, and they are sales objection flashcards. Now, I bring this up because I've worked in sales before, and sales is not an easy racket. I did sales. Tough racket. Put that coffee down. Coffee is for closers. And if you want to be a closer, you want to get over the objections that people might have. Kind of the simple things that you use to brush people off. You know, if you have ever bought anything or been solicited for anything, the most common one I see is like when you go into a store and people are like, hey, can I help you find anything? You're like, no, thanks, just looking. And the reality is, yeah, you are probably looking, but you're probably looking for something in particular, and you might be interested in buying, but you just don't want to be bothered with it. That's what we call an objection. And now, as a salesperson, you want to be equipped to overcome that objection, kind of break down that barrier. And so this is kind of interesting because when I first started in sales, you just got trained on overcoming some of the objections. They didn't really have flashcards for you. You just ask questions, or people would listen to your sales calls, and then they would give you suggestions like, hey, I'm going to call you back if you don't call me back. So, whatever it might be. So I'm kind of curious because what should be in here is a full deck of common excuses that you'll get and the rebuttals to them. And it's not meant to be annoying or overly pushy, but sometimes most new salespeople get one rejection, maybe a small rejection, maybe very light resistance, and they kind of shut down. Ooh, I don't like being rejected. And they don't even ask a follow-up question or press just a little bit or explore that topic just a little bit more, and they're missing out. And so what we get here is a little instruction on how to use a flashcard. I think you just look at the objection on the card and then the strategy on the back. Now, there can be a number of ways to handle any objection that you get. What's interesting about this is that on the back here, on this one, is actually one that I was trained on. It says, I understand how you feel. Others have felt the same way, and what they found was, this is actually something that was in my original sales training. I'm surprised to see it there because I thought it might even be made up at the time, but obviously it's pretty common. This is to overcome a very common objection. For example, I'm calling and I'm saying, hey, Mr. or Mrs. whoever, I've got this membership to this country club, and I would love for you to come in and check it out, and we would show you all the value you get. And they might say, no, I have really never thought country clubs were a good value. And so if you follow this, you kind of fill in the blanks here. I understand how you feel. Many other people have felt the same way. This is basically validating their concerns and saying, yeah, you agree with that. But what they found was, so yes, I understand. A lot of people have said that. But what people have found is when they come in and check out the country club and look at all the amenities that they get and meet all of the great people here right in their own community, and then they look at the price, they say, this was a no-brainer. It's one of the cheapest ways that we can get together with our friends. And so, like I said, so the way it works is that you validate their feelings. You say that that's very common, and so they feel like they're one of these people that would find the benefit of that. So that's interesting that it's there. All right, now flip over the cards here. What they have are a ton of objections here. They hang up the phone. All right, that's one that's going to be hard to overcome. I'm actually kind of curious to see what it says on the back here. It says, you need to call back ASAP and say, I believe we had a bad connection. If they don't answer, leave a message. In fact, I was trained that if you do leave a message, you kind of scare them that I will continue to call back until I hear from you. So you can give me a call in your free time at this number, etc., etc. Because if people think that they can just let you go into their voicemail and then be free of you after a few calls, then they're just going to do that. But if they think, oh man, this is never going to end until I talk to this person, then they might talk to you. All right, I can't afford it. A lot of people will say that. What does it say here? It says, if you like our product, we can find a way to fit your budget and needs. All right. Like not too pushy. I mean, I'm surprised. Some of these should probably sound a little pushier. Like, this is not a good time to talk. So what would you say there? I would say, is there a better time to talk? Why don't I give you a call back later? This says, our company believes in building a personal business relationship with all our clients. This works best in a face-to-face meeting. All right. Hey, that's a good way to go. Kind of go the more personal, high-touch route. This one says, I don't buy anything from strangers. And the card says, I understand. If you like our product or service and our prices within your budget, will you consider doing business with us? All right. They're saying, well, I don't like buying from strangers. And you're saying, hey, let's just look at the facts. Is the product good? Is the pricing good? I know we're strangers, but can we overcome that just on the merits of my product? Well, here's an interesting one. This one says, I wasn't prepared to purchase today. And it says, you do like the product, right? Nod your head, yes. Why wait when you can start getting results today? Okay, so like I said, approachable, not overly pushy, but there's a ton of cards in here. It's too expensive. We don't have any budget left in this year. I'm locked into a contract with a competitor. I can get a cheaper version of your product somewhere else. We're already working with ABC Company. I don't want to get stuck in a contract. Your price is too high, right? All sorts of objections. Obviously, I haven't gotten into them all here or anything, but I will tell you what, if you are in sales, maybe you're in a sales role, right, a formal role, you are a sales agent for a company, maybe you are starting up a business and you're your own salesperson, maybe you don't even realize you're in sales, you are trying to get people to join your club or your golf league or whatever it is. Things like this can definitely be helpful, even if you don't use them. I think it's just to help you get in the mentality of addressing people's concerns as opposed to shutting down every time someone gives you a retort that might be taken as a personal attack or something like that. So I can see a lot of value in this, not just because these might be good objections to know and recognize so that you can give a good response to, but just to condition yourself that sometimes when people say something, it might be out of hand, habit, and you might be able to break through and get the sale, make a relationship, get closure. So if you want to pick up this set of sales objection cards, I'll put a link to them in the description below. Peter Von Panda. Out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.